LaPointe.
Hopefully everyone's had a chance to look at the minutes from our previous meeting from July. I will entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Point Holman, roll call.
Earbone.
Yes.
Holman.
Yes.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Harmon.
Yes.
LaPointe.
Staff will stand up so they can. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right. All right, Madam Clerk.
Agenda item 2024-37 is for code compliance. This is an appeal to a citation for case number 2024-1713, citation number 2024-3151.13 in the amount of $505.04 for the property located at 815 Church Avenue. The owner and respondent, Kelly Thomas, is in the audience this afternoon to address the board, and Officer McKenna Table will present the case.
This case was the result of a complaint-based inspection that was conducted on March 13th. During the initial inspection, the following violations were observed: junk and scrap metal, some indoor furniture at an outdoor location, and an accumulation of landscaping material. An NOV was sent to the PVA listed owner and address on that date with the compliance inspection date of March 25th, 2024. On March 26, 2024, the property was inspected and remained in violation. As you can see, there was an accumulation of some brush as well as appliances back behind the alley, and some other material back behind the house. Contact was made with the property owner, Mr. Thomas, that day, as well as with the tenant at the time, and a plan was discussed to bring the property into compliance on that date, as well as again on March 28th. On April the 2nd, the property was inspected. It was observed that there had been some effort made towards compliance at that time, but overall the property was still in violation. On April the 5th, the property was inspected and remained in violation. And on April the 12th, contact was made with Mr. Thomas again, who requested that our office get in contact with the tenant. They were given additional time until Wednesday, April the 17th, to bring the property into compliance, and I made contact with the tenant, who was advised of the conditions that we were giving them an extension to bring the property into compliance. On April 17th, the property was inspected and remained in violation. On that date, face-to-face contact was made with the tenant, who advised that he had been working on cleaning up the property and he requested more time. I agreed that I would return on Monday, April 22nd, and that the property needed to be in total compliance at that time. Contact was made with Mr. Thomas, the property owner, on that day, and he was providing an update of that new agreement and timeline and the expectations that we had discussed. On April 22nd, the property was inspected and remained in violation. On that date, a citation was issued and posted on the property, as well as sent by first class and certified mail to the owner. The re-inspection date listed on the citation was May the 5th, 2024. And there's a citation that day that was posted. As well as you can still see that the junk was accumulated to the side of the property as well as to the rear. There were a bunch of appliances to the back of the alley, as well as a tent that housed several other appliances and other junk at that time. As you can see by all those appliances there, I would say there's probably at least 10 to 12 just in that picture, as well as furniture that was outside in the alley. On April 29th, the property owner furnished documentation that there had been an eviction filed and that a court date was scheduled for that eviction for May 21st, 2024. On May 22nd, the property was inspected again and remained in violation. Contact with Mr. Thomas was made, and he advised that the tenant was given 7 more days to vacate the property. I let him know then that I would go ahead and follow up in 10 days to allow the time for that vacate to take place and for them to work towards getting the property in compliance. On June the 5th, Mr. Thomas reached out and advised that he had given the tenant 5 additional days to come and retrieve the rest of his belongings, and he requested another week. On June 13th, the property was inspected and remained in violation, and we had received many additional complaints regarding the property. Mr. Thomas was contacted that date and was advised of the additional complaints and was given an additional 10 days for compliance. On June 24th, the property was inspected and remained in violation. A citation was issued and posted on the property, as well as sent by first class and certified mail to the property owner. The reinspection date listed on the citation was July 5th, which has since been postponed due to the filed appeal. As you can see in the picture, the following violations were added. There's damage to the roof, an unlicensed and inoperable vehicle on site, lack of duty of maintenance of private property, duty of maintenance of streets, sidewalks, drainage areas, and public right-of-way, an accumulation of construction materials. The property is considered an attractive nuisance for homeless and vagrant individuals, as well as a hoarding of materials, an accumulation and outdoor storage of tires, improper and inadequate sanitation, and accumulation of garbage and rubbish outdoors. As you can see, the front porch, the day the citation was issued, there was still an accumulation of junk, as well as just all the other junk that was there before. There may have even been more then from the time the initial citation was posted. Still tires, indoor furniture outside, all the garbage back to the side of the property as well as behind it. You can see all the garbage and the appliances that have been left outside. And then that's just directly to the rear of the property, all the scrap wood and piles of garbage. And then in that picture, if you look in the top right corner of the roof, it's missing some shingles as well as that vehicle. The tag has been expired for a couple of years. It's an inoperable vehicle. And then as of today, the property remains in violation. There's still an accumulation of rubbish and junk and other debris, scattered garbage, tires, just lack of duty of maintenance, sanitation, that roof damage, as well as the damaged siding. As of today, the case has been open for 167 days. As you can see, that's still back behind the property. There has been some cleanup, but overall, it still remains in violation. This is still there, as well as the improperly parked vehicle that's in the grass, and the tags are still expired on it. There's still the accumulation of stuff in the alley and the damage to the roof.
Sir? Sir? Let me swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Do.
All right, if you state your name, and then you can.
Kelly Thomas.
Okay, you can go ahead and give us your side, sir.
Well, there's a lot to this story more than what she says, is that what I came to find out after most of that junk was my tenant, Charles Russell, who I didn't know when I rented to him that he was a local junkyard, walking junkyard, because I've heard stories that around town that he's had this issue. And I was working with another code person for months before this. I think they got reassigned territories or whatnot. So they were working with Charles, and he would clean up a little bit, but then bring twice as much back down there. I mean, it was just horrible to try to work with. And so finally, I went to see Brad about, he was accusing me of stealing his stuff when we would take some off. So basically, I had to go to court and evict him. He's a Section 8 tenant, so he lost all his Section 8, and he is now homeless. But I had to evict him, and then I evicted him, and he wouldn't leave. So I had to take the cops back down there, and that's when I gave 5 more days. The cops asked me to give him 5 more days and so forth. So we finally got him off the property, trespassed him, and I finally found some people to go down there, and she gave me, I think, till the June the 24th or something to make a dent in it. And by that time, I don't know if you remember or not, but it rained almost every day in the 1st of July, and then the heat came, and I did get 15 or 17 15-foot trailer loads of scrap metal, which were all the washing machines, refrigerators, ovens. I did have somebody get that removed first. And then on the 26th of June, I believe, I set a dumpster down there. We subsequently loaded 2 40-yard dumpsters of trash out of that. But in between then, I found out that that orange tent was up there was actually a homeless impoundment. In other words, the police officers told me that Charles Russell had let the homeless people live in there. He said they were called down there 17 times. And he said every time we went in there, there was anywhere from 10 to 12 people laid out with needles and everything. They ended up arresting 3 of them. But what would happen when we finally got Charles Russell off the property, then they broke into that residence right there probably 7 times. I've got a broken front door that I've had to nail shut. 2 windows are broken out because the inside is just as worse as the outside, if not worse. So what happened is while we were cleaning it up, the homeless people would come at night and drag their stuff to the adjoining properties. Just like that one pile that's right, that you took a picture of, is not on my property. It's on the adjoining owner's property. We didn't do it. The homeless people did. They were mad because we were taking their stuff to the dump. And the lady that I had doing it and her friends, they ended up having to stay down there at nights to try to protect the stuff that they were hauling off, because I was letting them make money on the washing machines and stuff like that. And it got so bad that the police officers even told that different police officers would come around and make their rounds, and they would not allow my people to go on the property. And I mean, it was, for a month, it was total chaos. I mean, I spoke with probably 6 different police officers all during the night. So, I mean, there's just, I do have pictures of it being totally cleaned up by about 7/5, I think. But now, I went down there 2 days ago. Somebody had broken in the back door again. I mean, I've got all kinds of damage because of the homeless. The homeless wants their property back. I mean, now, and then there was an issue during the middle of that there's an alleyway. It's probably a 20-foot alleyway behind the house. Well, they also drove, Charles Russell came up there and pulled all his stuff out in the alleyway. And he then called the police and said that we were stealing his stuff. The police officers told us on 2 occasions that if it's in an alley, we could not touch it. It wasn't on my property. I think I informed her about that. She checked and said that it was apparently an abandoned alley by the city, that the city didn't maintain it. But the police officers didn't see it that way. They told us we couldn't touch it. And also on the other side, there's a church. They pulled the stuff over on the church side. Well, the church told us not to touch it. But then they called the police and said they wanted it cleaned up. I mean, so this was an everyday ordeal. I mean, it was, if you've ever tried to clean up a homeless encampment by yourself out of your own pocket, it's no fun. Trust me, especially with the city breathing down your neck. So, and now on the other side, I've got a tenant that's a long-term tenant that I believe that they're doing some things with her in terms of bringing junk back up there on her property. She's a traveling nurse. She's hard to get in touch with. And I was down there yesterday and found somebody down there, and there was some junk all around her side. And I asked him what he was doing down there, and he named off a name that he was seeing, and it's not even the same name that lived there. So, I mean, we still have problems with the homeless going down to that facility or that house. And I don't know what to do about that, because the police say they make extra rounds, but, how can they be concerned about a homeless person? But there's no tent set up there now. It's getting better, other than I'm going to go ahead and evict the person on the other side. I'm going to just scrap it and start clean and just clean the whole property up. But a lot of it is people coming on my property that I have no control of and bringing trash on there. Because the police officers tell me that it was a true homeless encampment. And I said, how did they get these appliances up there? And he said they put microwaves on their shoulders and bring them up there. He said that they steal these appliances. All these appliances are stolen. And he said they bring them here, which I was not aware of. I thought the big tent was Charles's, where he kept his appliances, because he always piddled on appliances. So I thought, he told me that's what was underneath there. I didn't realize that there was drug-infested homeless people in there. So, but it's taken several months, 6 months plus, to get this property cleaned up. And I've got one more eviction, and then I'll have it with nobody. And then if I can keep the vagrants out of it, I mean, I'm literally probably gonna have to board up the doors and windows to keep it from happening. I mean, they're breaking windows out. I mean, my front door, it's glass. I've had to board it up because they keep breaking it. And then they took sledgehammers and busted the wood off to get in there because they're wanting what was in there. And it's junk. I've never fought so hard to throw away junk in my life. But it's their junk, and they're wanting it back. And I mean, I have no use for it. But I mean, it's the hardest battle I've had. And Brad will tell you that I work with code officials all the time pretty good. I mean, if they send me letters, 9 times out of 10, I get it done, and I call them and say it's done. I'm not the type of person that just does it. But a lot of this was out of my control, especially when you have somebody saying you touched my property, like that car. I can't have that car towed off. It's not mine. If I have it towed off, it's stolen. I've stolen it. I mean, what do you do about that? I mean, it's my tenants, and I've told her, and I've told her, and I've told her. But why find me when she won't do it? She tells me the car's operational. I don't know whether the tags are expired or not. But it has moved from one place to the other. I do know that. But her parking spot is in the back. So, I mean, I don't know if it moves daily or monthly or what. But there's a graveled area back there where she's allowed to park it. So I just think that, $500 fine is pretty excessive in that what all I had to deal with over the last 3 or 4 months with the police department, with the alleyway. I'd love to petition the city for that alleyway. I may be able to build another unit back there. But the guy right behind it said, no, that's the way I come in and out. So is it public or is it private? But now all the stuff, there's a lot of stuff that's sitting on the alley closer to his side now. But I think the city's wanting me to clean it up. And like I said, the trash that they pulled over to this other guy I think he's a out-of-town owner. It's just a vacant lot. They pulled it right across the property line. And the city's wanting me to clean it up. There's a picture of it up there. That's not on my property. What am I supposed to do that? On the church on the other side, they've got trash laying out there. It's from my property. I didn't drag it over there, nor did my people drag it over there. But the city's wanting me to clean it up. And that's what the purpose of this fine is. And I just don't feel that, like I said, the property is I've got pictures of about, I think it was the 5th or 6th of July that it was totally cleaned up. Now this other tenant on the other side there was a motorcycle down there, there was a tire down there was some other junk down there 2 days ago when I was down there. She's brought some other stuff on, or whoever's staying in that unit has brought some stuff down there. And I'm going to have to get on her about it. But I'm going to go ahead and evict her. I'm just tired of this property and the tenants is what I am. So for that, I just ask that the fine be abated or whatnot. It has been cleaned up, and it will continue to be cleaned up. So that's all I have to say.
So in terms of the roof damage, was there an attempt to get that repaired?
I've been dealing with the trash. The roof is an insurance claim. I think we have money for that. So actually, it's just that one back corner that I had a tarp on it, and it blew away. And the board that held the tarp was up there. There's probably about 4 or 5 shingles missing. So that's something that's very simple to remediate right there.
How long has Mr. Russell been gone from the house?
I evicted him I filed for eviction April 25th and took approximately close to 30 days to get it through the court process. And then I had to file another court document to get him removed from the property, so that took another week or so. And then when the police officer met to remove him from the property, Charles promised to get all the stuff gone and this, that, and the other, so they gave him another 5 days. So it was probably, May, June, sometime in the middle of June or so, before Charles but he kept coming back. He was the one kept coming back at night and taking the stuff and stealing the stuff because he knew what was there. And he was the one pulling it to the side, and he was the one calling the police, saying that we were stealing it because it wasn't on my property any longer. And he's an ex-deputy sheriff. And then he was sending his other people up there to do it as well. I mean, it's been a nightmare dealing with this. Like I said, I can take a Section 8 tenant that he's getting his full rent paid for, and then now he's homeless. And he was supporting a homeless encampment. It doesn't make any sense. And then he fought this hard for that trash. I've never seen anybody fight so hard for trash. He wouldn't take it when he had his opportunity. But as soon as he didn't have his opportunity, then he wanted to take it. I mean, we fought tooth and nail with this guy.
I had a couple questions. I know you mentioned it, but you did a little bit briefly, but what's your long-term plan? You say you're going to evict the other tenant there too?
Yes, I'm actually in the process of evicting her right now.
And then, I mean, I understand what you're saying. It's with the difficulty of homeless and everybody else. I'm sure they're going to go away.
We'll sell the property. That's what I'm going to do.
Get it fixed up?
I'm going to get it fixed up and probably re-rent it to some decent tenants and get the cash out of
sell
there.
it?
Yep. I mean, I was thinking about trying to buy the lot next door to build another one on, but I'm not too fond of this area now.
Other questions or discussions?
I was just going to ask Mr. Brad, would you concur that generally Mr. Thomas has been good working with your group?
Mr. Thomas has been a landlord for a long time, so I would say over the last 10 years that Mr. Thomas and I have worked together a lot. And yes, I mean, I think that's a fair statement, is that by and large, most of his properties are well maintained and taken care of. But at the same time, when there's things like on the screen there that have been like that for 167 days, you know, our hands are kind of tied as far as our enforcement proceedings at that point. We really have to follow policy and procedure, and it's kind of our duty in order to, you know, issue fines and citations at that point. So regardless of past history of any particular landlord, when something looks like this and the odor and the sanitation issues and the ongoing problems, you know, we really don't have much discretion in the matter at that point.
If we were to uphold the citation but dismiss the fines, the case would start over again?
No, the case would continue running. You would uphold the citation in that, if that is your motion, saying that the citation that was issued was correct and everything in the citation was issued appropriately, and then we would continue our enforcement action and issue another citation.
Thank you.
Mr. Thomas, how long do you estimate it would take you to get everything into compliance?
Well, it kind of depends on, is that my responsibility on another man's property? That picture right there. I
Brad,
mean,
if you could
what
speak
I've
to
got
that.
on my property itself is probably one 15-foot load trailer that I can get gone tomorrow. Roof can be fixed in a day.
So according to both our records, PVA records, and that last picture, which I'll go back to in a second, that has a private drive sign on the pole, this is not a city-maintained alley. This is part of Mr. Thomas's property. So as you can see on the map on the screen there, the city maintains anything that has a purple line on it, so it maintains the streets and the alley that goes kind of horizontal there. But as far as that alley behind all of those properties, it is not a city-maintained alley. So sometime years, 50, 60, 70 years ago, whatever it was, the city divested that alley half to each property owner that adjoins it in order to make it a private drive. So Mr. Thomas is not incorrect that he could not go back there and build something, because there still has to be some sort of, you know, easement in order for people to access their property. If you build a apartment building back there, then other people couldn't access it. But, you know, it is a private drive, it is not public property, and so by our records, all of this, I mean, not
I'm
only
not, I'm not really referring to the alley itself. I'm talking about the property line adjoining property owner.
on the vacant property next door?
Yes.
So you're contesting that the items present there came from?
I'm just saying that
empty
they've been
property?
pulled off of my property onto his.
I would agree with that.
Okay, but I didn't do it. But why is this gentleman not being fined for, you know, that's what I'm saying. Is the city going to require me to clean up another man's property to be in compliance?
I suppose that's up to the discretion of the board. My opinion would be that if you just take all of the stuff that was in those last pictures and just spread it around all of the adjacent properties, I mean, obviously your property was where all of the items came from. I mean, that's pretty clear, and I hope you wouldn't contest that. So, you know,
I mean, it was all over, really a total of 3 different properties. The church's properties, my property,
it
and
was
the,
generated from your property, correct?
it was
From your
generated from the
tenant.
homeless encampment that was
On your property.
on my property, yes.
So
I'm not
I-
contesting that. But, you know, the homeless people are the ones that pulled it to joining property owners because it's their junk. I didn't want their junk, but I didn't do it.
By the virtue of that, you're saying that you shouldn't be responsible of someone else bringing stuff on your
I'm just
property,
saying that
but you
right-
want us to make other property owners responsible for the stuff that came from your property. So it's kind of,
You know, Brad, this is tenants. It's not my personal property. You know,
Understand.
I don't live there personally. It's not like I'm throwing trash on my neighbor's property.
argument.
I mean, you know, this is homeless people out there.
Have you spoken to anybody over there about helping you clean that up?
Early on, when actually the church, they were really behind Charles Russell. The preacher's son over there, I think they went to school together, and they knew each other. So early on, back in March, yeah, I met all 3 of them down there, and the church was all for him helping him clean up. And you know, yeah, actually they wanted some of his stuff. They wanted a picnic table, and they wanted this, and they wanted that, and so they asked him to put it over there on the church's property. But then when the homeless people started dragging stuff over there, they changed their mind. And so, yeah, it's, you know, and then this guy on the other side, I have no idea how to get in touch with him. Apparently he's out of town owner. He had a fire, tore the house down, and I hadn't heard anything from him.
At any point, have you brought a dumpster or anything in order to remove these items? Have you set a dumpster down there, 40-yard dumpster or anything?
I set 2 40-yard dumpsters and removed them. Filled them up to the brim and removed them.
Okay.
And also either 15 or 17 trailer loads of scrap metal.
Since Mr. Russell was gone on June 13th?
Yeah,
'Cause that's
that's
been
when
over
the
2 months.
That's when the 2 dumpsters were down there. After
Okay.
that,
So this is all residual items in addition to those 2 40-yard dumpsters? Yes. And so what is the plan for hauling the rest of this off?
that's what I'm saying is they're on other people's property right now. Am I responsible for cleaning up somebody else's property?
Willing to do, just to get, it came off your property. If I drug stuff onto your property, you'd want me to clean it up.
Oh, but
would you not?
truth be known, they're still bringing stuff down there.
But would you not want me to
I mean,
clean it up?
am I going to continuously have to, like, say if it's on the backside of the alley and,
You answer my question.
yes, sir.
Would you not want me to clean it up?
Yeah, I'll have it cleaned up.
Okay. So you'll clean that up?
We'll have somebody down there to clean it up.
Other conversation from the board? Okay. Anyone want to make a motion? If not, I'll go ahead and make a motion to uphold the citation, but to waive the fine amount of $505.04. Dearborn, Lapointe, roll call?
Earbone,
Yes.
Holman,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Lapointe.
Yes.
So if you could make sure that you get that debris and trash as well, you know, even though it's technically on somebody else's property, since it came from yours, if you could do that, then all of this is done.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk?
Agenda item 2024-38 is for planning and zoning. This is an appeal to a citation. Case number 2024-6662, citation number 2024-11504 in the amount of $300 for the property located at 405 Beach Street. The property owner is Luna Cruz, and respondent is Luna Cruz, and he is in the audience this afternoon to address the board. Officer James Hetty will present the case.
Good evening. I did have a complaint on 2 properties, but we're going to go with the first one first. 405 Beach Street. Had a complaint of unapproved gravel. And through the PowerPoint up there, you'll see the GIS 2017 shows the empty lots, and the GIS 2024 shows the gravel and a number of different vehicles parked on the properties. The GIS 2019 shows is a accumulation, I guess, over time of the buildup of the parking area, which you'll see there's no site permit, or well, you'll see on there that there's no site permit, site work permit, or no development plan, unapproved gravel, and et cetera. That's a photo from August 1st that shows the semi and the different vehicles parked on the unapproved gravel. All right, as you'll see, I've back in April, I issued a notice of violation posted on the property or on the tenant's, the owner's property, and sent first-class mail. August the 1st, I had reinspection date of June the, I believe it was. In June, and I issued the citation August the 2nd. I did talk to Mr. Cruz back in June and supplied him with the different land, engineer firms, a list that we had, surveyors and engineers. And that was in beginning of June or so. Let's see. And I checked before I issued the citation in August, August the 2nd with our plan reviewers, and no permits or any site work permit applications had been entered into the system. Therefore, that citation was generated. Went by today, and it still looks that way. However, I did get confirmation, it's not in the notes, but I sent a request to that Landmark Engineering, and they did send me back a signed portion of the contract. So I'm hoping this property is in contract with that Landmark Engineering firm. But as of right now, it's still out of compliance.
Swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the whole truth, so help you God? All right, if you'll state your name and then go ahead and tell us about it.
Well, I mean, Landmark, they already started working on everything. They're gonna charge $5,000 to do the rezone, and they require $2,500 so they can start all the process. got the receipt for 2,500. And I think they already got in touch with James. So, so I guess it's everything is on their hands right now, so.
You make the payment for the $2,500.
August 5th. And also, I tried getting in touch with James before, because he gave me to the, I believe, July 19, but I could not get in touch with him, and to ask for more time to come out with the $2,500 for the down payment with the landmark. But, I was not able to get in touch with him, so, but, they already started working, so. And they already get in touch with him too, so. I'm working on it,
Questions from the board?
What are the plans for the property?
I just parked the semi-truck there. I'm owner operator, and just parked the truck in there. Yeah.
Clarify what you're paying them to do. I didn't catch that.
To do a rezone,
Okay.
to $5,000.
I guess a question for staff, is rezoning all that needs to be done here, the development plan, and I assume a bunch of other stuff too?
The notice of violation has the correction part of it, section. And there's different things. The engineers can help with a site development plan. And if it's, if approved, a site work permit for the paving, the landscape plan, lighting plan. So there's different things, not just, it's zone light industrial. So with light industrial, it'll have to be paved, and it can't be just gravel. So even rezoning wouldn't correct that property.
Yeah, I guess the planned use for the property is appropriate in the current zoning classification. So there's not a zone change needed, only the things that James mentioned, as far as the site work permit, landscape plan, those types of things. That's all that's needed on our end to bring the property into compliance. But that is something that Landmark can assist with.
Okay, have you had communication with Landmark to make sure everybody's on the same page, what they're supposed to be doing?
No, sir, I haven't, other than I did reach out to them to confirm that there was a contract that was signed. This says August the 5th, but that was all that they sent back, was the last portion of that contract. So I don't know what really the contract says, but it's with Landmark Engineering. So I would hope that it's something that Landmark Engineering works with the Planning Commission quite a bit, so they would know what things would be required, such as the site development plan, the landscape plan, site work plan.
But, I mean, we can reach out to make sure that everybody's on the same page. That's not an issue.
So this is far from being done.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, it's all kind of hinging on how quickly they can prepare their plan documents for submittal so that our staff can review everything before any permits could be issued to pave or do anything.
He'll still have to pave. Is that something that I saw you making a,
Oh, yeah, give me a break with those $600, fine. That would be nice. So I can put him on the $5,000 to do the rezone, on the rest of the half of the money.
but even after you rezone, you're gonna have to pave.
Just clarify, there's no zone change required.
So it'll just,
Well, I guess I guess, like James said, we don't know what the details of the contract are. Do you have a copy of the contract with you?
Yeah,
Let me
and,
see if I can.
sounds like he was under the impression that he needed to get it rezoned, and he's spending all this money on a rezone, and he doesn't need it.
I think his appeal was Landmark Engineering Incorporated. They are working on the rezone for both lots, which is not really a rezone, but that's what the appeal is. But it's for the site development plan, landscaping plan.
Okay, yeah, so I'm reading this under the scope of services, and it's not mentioning a zone change. It is actually covering everything that's mentioned. As far as the construction plans, they're going to prepare civil construction plans, attend any meetings with staff, prepare landscape plans.
Site grading.
They're not actually gonna do the work, they're just gonna plan it, correct?
Right, they're going to prepare the civil documents.
Does he,
Yes, $5,000 just to do that, yeah.
So do you understand that they're just preparing the construction documents for you, and then once those are approved, you'd have to hire someone outside of that to actually complete the paving and the landscaping work?
I don't know how am I gonna do the payment, I mean, I only got one truck, you know, I'm not making enough money to do it,
what's the reasoning you parked the truck at the location it's at? Do you not have anywhere else? I mean, you'd probably be better off just finding another spot, you know, that's already in compliance, correct?
That's certainly an option. Or another option would be to try and remove a majority of the gravel that's on the property.
But he still wouldn't be able to park on the grass, would he?
Right, I guess to where you're paving a smaller area, because if you only need space for 2 trucks, what's gravelled there now is much more than you would need to accommodate that. That could be another option.
So do you, kind of back to his question, do you have a place where you could at least even temporarily park your trucks until you figure it out?
I don't.
You may be better finding one, because if you pave that whole lot, it's gonna be a lot more than $5,000. I mean, even if you pave half of it.
And that doesn't include landscaping, maybe a drainage plan too, part of this. I'm not sure what all be.
Right, that's all detailed in their scope of services. But to your all's point, that's only just preparing the construction documents, not the fee for the actual improvement of the site.
What have you seen in the past? I mean, looking at this, do you have an approximate of what something like that would cost to put it? I'm just not sure that he's understanding.
Yeah, I don't know
what
if
this
he
is.
does either. I don't know. There's a lot of moving parts because it's that 5,000 just for the engineering plans, but I don't know about paving, how much that would be. It's several thousand, 35, who knows?
Probably more.
Probably.
Yeah.
And with you,
It's actually 2 lots. I mean, we're going to talk about the next one, but it's pretty good sized lots.
There's another, a block away, is a guy who got trailers, containers on the grass, I don't know.
and one problem that you run into with that, so, if you stay out of compliance, then with us, they're gonna keep siding you, and it's going to build up on this side too, so you'll basically have 2 things building up against you, so, obviously, you can only do what you can do, but if you're able to find a place to at least temporarily park your truck, figure out your next move, that's going to at least save you money, at least you won't have 2 things mounting against you. You'll be able to take care of one, and then the other one can be worked out as well. So, I mean, it's kind of one of those things where it may not be the best option you have right now, but if you can talk to somebody, find somebody who's willing to let you at least temporarily park there while you figure everything else out, you're going to be in a lot better shape, because if you do go ahead with this, you're just mounting money on top of money, which is already going to be a stretch for you to get done, and it's just going to pile up more and more, and it's going to be hard for you to catch back up.
Your best bet's probably gonna be to put this back in the compliance, remove the gravel and maybe even sell the lot and then look for something else that's already in compliance.
There's no other option,
I mean, there's always another option, but in terms of financially, what's going to work best for you and get you out of this quicker than quicker than anything, that's probably going to be your best option.
I mean, we would be happy to schedule a meeting at our office, so that, Mr. Cruz could meet with us and maybe we could talk through some different options, whether it involved just restoring the property back to the way it was originally, or what would really truly be needed to bring the site into compliance. We could also discuss options. I don't know if maybe he could lease part of the space if he's gonna pave it all. There might be other people in the same industry where he could lease a spot for them to park, where maybe they're in a similar situation where they just need one spot. So maybe that could be an option as well. I don't think we're gonna figure it out tonight, though.
It's a great idea.
Other questions or comments? Let me ask you this. You're talking about having a meeting with Mr. Cruz. Would you be able to schedule that meeting for sometime in the next month?
Oh, absolutely.
Because, okay, the only reason I say is because my thought would be if maybe we table this for a month, let you all have a meeting, discuss what the options are, and then bring it back and say, okay, this is the option that we've gone with, might allow for him to have a better understanding of what he can and can't do, and maybe we'll have something either figured out or closer to figured out by that point.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Does that sound okay?
Okay. Well, then I would like to make a motion to table this to our September meeting.
Second?
One question real quick. Can we do table 38 and 39 together?
I believe would that be appropriate to do 38 and 39 together? Okay, so yeah, my motion is to table 38 and 39 together.
Second?
All right. Dearborn, LaPointe, roll call.
Dearborn,
Yes.
Holman,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Harmon.
Yes.
LaPointe.
Yes.
Thank you all for wanting to work on this together.
Thank you.
Mr. Cruz, just so you know, you will have to be present back here at the next hearing, so we will send you paperwork just like you got for this meeting about the time and the place and the date and all of that, so just be looking out for that. But you will have to appear at that meeting with any updates. If you fail to appear, then it's upheld as written, okay?
Now to new business, Madam Clerk.
Agenda item 2024-40 is for planning and zoning. This is a request for authorization to issue a per-day fine citation, case number 2022-3709, for the property located at 1432 Campbell Lane. The property owner is BSSCC Properties, and Officer James Hetty will present the case.
Good evening again. I had this complaint. This is a 2022 complaint. Reference to vehicles parking in the grass, automotive sales. If we could, oh, that's third citation. Can you scroll to the second to the last? Okay. No, that's fine. Thank you. This is the third per day fine request. As you can see, the second per day was actually in February the 27th, so actually 6 months ago. Let's see, notice of violation was given back in March the 4th, 2022. First citation was May of 2022. The second citation went for almost a whole year, hoping they were going to submit some plans, different things to bring it into compliance. However, the second citation was in April of 2023. And then the third citation is July 2023. Did ask for a per day fine request in September of last year. Started that in October 19th of 2023 for 60 days. Re-inspected in February the 20th, 2024, and it's still out of compliance, and therefore February 27th, 2024, asked for the second per day fine request. March 21st, 2024, started that second 60-day per day fine. Re-inspected August 19th, 2024, and of course today, August the 27th, third per day fine request. I went by today earlier, and it's still no movement towards compliance. I had talked to, let's see, earlier last week, the 20th, I talked to our staff. There's no permits or site permit applications have been submitted, so therefore I'm requesting for the per day fine for third time for this.
I'll make a motion to implement a per day fine in the amount of $100 to run for a period of 60 days or until compliant.
I'll second that one too.
Harmon, roll call?
Beerbone,
Yes.
Holman,
Yes?
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
LaPointe.
Yes.
Agenda item 2024-41 is for planning and zoning. This is a request for authorization to issue a per-day fine citation for case number 2024-2076 for the property located at 2521 Small House Road. Owner is Craig B. Lilly, and James Hetty will present the case.
This one's actually two lots also. I received this complaint August the 7th of 2023. And I did find, as you can see on that GIS, it might be a little tougher to see, but in 2023, the 2521, it just shows a residence. There's a lot of rubbish in the back, but in the 2024 GIS, you can see there's a trailer they started parking and vehicles they start parking in the front yard. That lot just south of that, on that photo you can tell from that building on towards Small House Road, they've gravelled with unapproved gravel. That whole, which you'll see on the next slide, the whole lot made a parking area. Here demonstrates there's two vehicles. Actually, I went by earlier today, and I guess they doubled down. There's two vehicles parked on the front yard, just out in the grass. That's not the unapproved or the unpermitted gravel. This one is on that zero lot that shows the unapproved gravel. And there's been a number of different vehicles and trailers and different things I've seen they've parked on that. Brad, can you fast forward the next one? As you'll see, I sent the notice of violations in January. First citations were in March the 29th. May, the second citation is, at one point, I noticed that they didn't park, or maybe it just when I was there, the vehicle wasn't parked in the yard. So when it came to the second rotation for the citation, I just cited one of the properties. However, the next time I come through, there was a vehicle parked there. So in July, I cited the second citation for that, so it got them both on the same rotation, if that makes any sense. And then in August, they're still both out of compliance. Vehicles parked in the front yard of 2025 and unapproved gravel with no site work permit or building permit for that gravel. Let's see, 2027, or August the 27th, request for the per day fine request. And as of today, it's 87 days it's been open. I was made aware, and throughout, every time I'd send a citation, it's usually first class, but also I certify mail it. At one point, there was a Angela Bryan that signed for one of the or at one of those, it was probably the August one, citation envelopes. I made note of that because the Angela Bryant was a different name. However, after let's see, in August the 7th, no, August the 8th, I got a message from co-compliance. It was a voice message from Miss Angela Bryant with a phone number, and she was letting me know that the property owner had passed. And I Googled that and found the obituary for Mr. Craig Barnett Lilly, age 67, had died July 21st. However, I've reached out twice and left Miss Bryant messages, and she has yet to return my phone message. Now this photo on this, at first I thought maybe they're running a business, which it is. It says BG one and done, one call, that's all. And he's got all kinds of stuff labeled on there, landscaping, handyman, different things, items. So up until this date, this date, there hasn't been any compliance towards any of the violations on that property. So like I said earlier, it's still out of compliance today.
So with Mr. Lilly being passed, do we know who assumes the responsibility?
Don't. This Angela Bryant, she may be the executor. I don't know. I know she's one that signed for one of the certified mail envelopes. Yeah, as you'll see, July 29th, there's an entry there, received the signed, and I have in parentheses, Angela Bryant, certified mail, and I've got the certified mail number, return stub, regarding the second citation for 2521 Small House Road property.
So even if we were to do the per day fine, who would be fined?
More than likely the estate. And Mr. Broderick, I don't know if you
That's
know.
correct, but I'm listening. The problem is we don't have an estate open. It doesn't sound like. And basically what we have to do is notify the estate. You make a claim to it. Personal representative, if there's not a will, the executor, the executrix, if there is. So right now, I don't think we have good notice out, unless the deed, that was going to be my question, is the deed only in his name? What does the PVA show?
The PVA has just his name.
Let me tell you what happens sometimes. This is not a bad location for this property, but generally what happens is somebody comes forward with an estate. If they don't, it's the sheriff's obligation to be what's called a public administrator, and they can take care of it. But I'll tell you, it's something, I'll talk to Mr. Hetty further about it in HAMP and help y'all kind of hook up how to do that, but I do not think we can do anything tonight. Sorry, James, we just don't have anybody served on it.
No, absolutely, I appreciate it. Yes, sir.
So,
So this one just needs to be on pause.
On pause till probably the next meeting, and I think it can be quickly done. The sheriff, 90% of the time doesn't have to do it. There's usually somebody that will take the estate, because, I mean, this is it's a good location. I mean, it's not a bad location in town. It's worth some money. Somebody will be interested.
Maybe that's for them to vote no on the per day fine and just having
Yeah,
resubmitted.
I would do this. I think he could just resubmit it. I don't think you vote no. I think we just pass this till the next meeting to see where we are. Don't think you even need a motion on it at this stage.
till next meeting, yeah,
That would
Will that be-
apply to both of those properties.
same for both, for, our next one. Okay.
Mr. Broderick, I'm not sure if this helps whatsoever, but I did look in eClicks just now. As of the 15th day of August of 2024, there was an order probating the will and appointing Angela Bryan of 2521 Small House Road as the executor with a bond, and it's got all of the information in here with
That's
his
good news.
last will and testament.
That's
and all
great.
that.
That's good news, except for one thing, we're still gonna have to reserve her at this point in time because of the
Notify
gap
Ms.
in
Bryan.
time. Yeah.
Okay.
That'll bring it right back up at our next meeting, the September 24th meeting. That's all you'll need to do. So we don't have to jump through the other hoops now. That's good.
We just need to
Reserve her.
reissue the citation
Citation for the per day fine and to her, and then set it,
Would it not be it wouldn't be the per day, but it would be, would I start with number one, the first citation to her?
I think it stays with the property. It runs with the property because there's been so many violations on it.
But keep in mind that tonight is just a request for authorization to issue the per-day fine. So she hasn't been served with anything, so she would be served with the citation.
That's what I'm
or-
saying. You know, we'd have to give her new service saying this is a notice for a per day fine.
Which we would do if it was approved tonight. That's what we would do is, if they approve it, then we send out the letter giving 10 days before that citation were to start.
But we still haven't noticed anybody. She didn't have the authority to be served till August the 15th.
But we haven't served anybody because the per-day fine hasn't.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, I
That's
thought
what
you
this
had
is the
to.
request for.
Then I
Now,
think-
the alternative is they could reissue a notice of violation to Ms. Bryant, and then maybe 30 days from now, then bring the request back for the
I
per-day
think that's the
fine.
best practice at this point.
But I mean, that would provide proper service to her through a reissued notice of violation, but we can't reissue any of the citations that are already all final order.
I think the best thing to do is serve her and set it as a new notice of new violation,
Correct.
both of them.
Understood.
And then in that notice, are we to
Both.
notify her that this is up for a per day fine request at the September? meeting?
Yes. Yeah, you both a notice of violation and then up for a per day fine because of the repeated violations. Because it's clearly falls within the category.
Thank you.
Thank you for checking on that because that makes it a lot easier.
Madam Chair, Madam Clerk.
Agenda item 2024-43 is for code compliance. This is a request for authorization to issue a per-day fine citation for case number 2024-0316 for the property located at 122 13th Avenue West. The property owner is Aceland Holdings LLC, and Officer McKenna Tabor will present the case.
This case was the result of a proactive inspection that was conducted on January 22nd of this year. During the initial inspection, the following violations were observed for glazing. There were some broken windows, as well as protective treatment for damaged and missing siding and a fallen tree in the backyard, as you can see in those pictures. An NOV was sent to the PVA listed owner and address on that date with the compliance inspection date of February 21st, 2024. On February 22nd, March 14th, March 21st, and March 28th, the property was inspected and remained in violation. On April the 4th, the property was inspected and remained in violation. A citation was issued and posted on the property, as well as sent by first class and certified mail to the PVA listed owner. The compliance inspection date listed on the citation was April 16th, 2024, and the following violations were added to the citation for doors that were missing and not maintained in good repair, protective treatment for the damaged missing siding, and peeling, flaking, chipping paint, and scattered garbage that was on the property. As you can see the citation that was posted there, as well as some of the chipping paint, and then the missing chipping paint on the back and the boarded doors, and that tree was still falling down on the back of the property. On April 17th, the property was inspected and remained in violation. A citation was issued and posted on the property, as well as sent by first class and certified mail to the PVA listed owner. The compliance date listed on the citation was April 29th, 2024. And there's that second citation. No change to the property. It's still boarded up and missing the paint, siding, and the garbage was scattered back there. And the tree was still falling down. And the windows still remain boarded up. On May the 15th, the property was inspected. It was found at that time that the fallen tree had been removed, but all of the other violations remained. A citation was issued and posted on the property, as well as sent by first class and certified mail to the PVA listed owner. The reinspection date listed on the citation was May 28, 2024, and the following violations were added for a damaged and missing soffit, as well as improper installation and maintenance of electrical equipment. There's that citation. And everything else stayed the same on the property, still boarded up and the siding damaged, and most of the tree had been removed. There was still part of it that was down on that day, but they had removed a large amount of it, as well as that exposed electrical wiring. As of today, the property remains in violation. The doors are still boarded up, as well as the windows. There's still that construction material and garbage that are scattered and accumulated on the property, as well as the damaged paint, siding, and it's also abandoned. Discovered there's not been utilities there since June 2021. All possible attempts have been exhausted to work with the property owner to bring the property into compliance. During the duration of this case, we've been in correspondence with the property owner via the city's law department, and they've been made aware of the property in violations. As of today, it's been open for 217 days. We're still boarded up, and not much has changed other than the tree being removed.
Make a motion to implement a per-day fine in the amount of $100 to run for a period of 60 days or until compliance.
Second. Point Dearborn. Roll call.
Dearborn. Holman.
Yes.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Harmon.
Yes.
LaPointe.
Yes.
Agenda item 2024-44 is for code compliance. This is a request for authorization to issue a per-day fine citation. Case number is 2024-0391 for the property located at 1556 College View Drive. The property owner is Aislinn Holdings LLC, and Officer McKenna Tabor will present the case.
The result of another proactive inspection that was conducted on January 24th of 2024. During that inspection, the following violations were observed for an accessory structure to the rear of the property that was maintained in poor condition, as well as an improperly parked vehicle on the front yard. An NOV was sent to the PVA listed owner and address on that date with the compliance inspection date listed at February 8, 2024. As you can see in that picture, that vehicle was parked in the grass, and You can see the building that was damaged. You can see that from the street on College View. On February 16th and February 23rd, the property was inspected. The improper parking had been corrected at that time, but the accessory structure to the rear remained in violation. On March the 5th, the property was inspected and remained in violation. On that date, contact was made with the property manager, who told me that the owner was just considering their options on whether they wanted to keep the building like it was or they were going to tear it down. They just needed time to kind of discuss what they wanted to do, and then they would follow up with me. On March 21st, the property was inspected and still remained in violation. March 27th, the property was inspected and remained in violation, and at that time, there had been no correspondence to our office regarding what they had decided to do with the structure in the back. A citation was issued and posted on the property, as well as sent by first class and certified mail to the PVA listed owner. The compliance date listed on the citation was April the 8th, and the following violations were added: that there were doors missing, not maintained in good repair. There was protective treatment listed for missing and damaged siding, as well as peeling, flaking, chipping paint, and roofs and drainage for the areas of damage, soffit and fascia on the primary structure, the residence in front of that accessory structure. And there's that citation, as well as that accessory structure that was severely dilapidated. On April the 9th, the property was inspected and remained in violation. A citation was issued and posted on the property, as well as sent by first class and certified mail to the PVA listed owner, with the compliance inspection date listed as April 19th. And there's that citation. On April 22nd, the property was inspected and remained in violation. A citation was issued and posted on the property, as well as sent by first class and certified mail to the PVA listed owner. The compliance inspection date listed on the citation was May the 2nd, 2024. And there's the third citation listed, as well as the accessory structure that's not had any change. And I've not had any correspondence with anybody regarding how they wanted to move forward with it, but it's missing the siding on the side of it, as well as the interior falling in where nobody could park their car or probably really store anything inside of there, as well as the damaged soffit and fascia. As of today, the property remains in violation. There is a fallen tree in the back of the property now, as well as that accessory structure still being in the same shape that it was. The damaged siding, as well as the paint, and still the damaged roof, fascia, soffit, and the duty of maintenance, lack of duty of maintenance to the private property. The case has been open for 215 days.
I'll make a motion to implement a per-day fine in the amount of $100 to run for a period of 60 days or until in compliance.
Second.
Harmon, Gonzalez, roll call.
Beerbone,
Yes.
Holman,
Yes?
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Harmon.
Yes.
LaPointe.
Yes.
Agenda item 2024-45, is for code compliance. This is another request for authorization to issue a per-day fine citation. The case number is 2024-1806 for the property located at 509 Ashmore Avenue. The property owner is Krista L. Robertson, and Officer Will Ming will present the case.
The case was a result of a proactive inspection on March 15, 2024. During the inspection, the following violations were observed: abandoned, no electricity since February 23, duty of maintenance, private property, civil citation since 2019. A notice of violation was sent to the PVA listed owner, address on that date with the compliance inspection date of March 25, 2024. And on March 26, 2024, the property was inspected and remained in violation. A repeat offender citation was issued. While posting the citation, it was observed that the front door was unsecured. BGPD were contacted to come clear the house, during which was discovered that the back door was also open, along with a broken window on the back door. The city law department made contact with the property owner to come lock the house. Ms. Robertson informed the city attorney that she would not do so. A work order was submitted for a city contractor to board up and secure the property. As you can see, the window's broken, and that's when I was posting. You could see it wasn't latched all the way on the front door there. And boarded up the back door. On March 27, 2024, the citation was revised for additional violation posted on the property, as well sent first class and certified mail to the PVA listed owner and address. The compliance inspection date listed on the citation was April 5th, 2024. The following violations were added: vacant building not secured, broken window glazing, repeat offender. And then we boarded the front door, posted a citation. On April 22nd, the property was inspected and remained in violation. A repeat offender citation was issued, posted on the property, as well as sent by first class certified mail to the PVA listed owner and address. The compliance inspection date was listed on the citation of May 2nd, 2024. As we posted the citation in front door. On May 3rd, the property was inspected and remained in violation. A repeat offender citation was issued, posted on the property, as well as sent by first class certified mail to the PVA listed owner and address. The compliance inspection date listed on the citation was May 13th, 2024. And on May 16, 2024, was inspected and remained in violation. A repeat offender citation was issued, posted on the property, as well as sent by first class certified mail to the PVA listed owner and address. The compliance inspection date listed on the citation was May 28, 2024. And that's where we posted that citation. And on May 28, 2024, the property was inspected and remained in violation. A repeat offender citation was issued, posted on the property, as well as sent by first class and certified mail to the PVA listed owner and address. The compliance inspection date listed on the citation was 6/7/2024. You can see it posted again. And as of today, the property remains in violation with glazing, broken windows, repeat offender, abandoned property, vacant property, and duty of maintenance of private property. And I had pictures from today.
I'll make a motion to implement a per day fine in the amount of $100 to run for a period of 60 days or until compliant.
Second. LaPointe, Dearborn, roll call.
Dearborn,
Yes.
Holman,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
LaPointe.
Yes.
Agenda item 2024-46 is for code compliance. This is a request for authorization to issue a per-day fine citation. Case number is 2023-4184 for the property located at 412 6th Avenue East. The owner of the property is Motor Cars of Bowling Green LLC, and Officer Sonia Duderick will present the case.
This case was a result of proactive inspection on 7/27 of 2023, where the following violations were observed. Accumulation of construction material, roofs and drainage issues. I send an NOV to PVA listed owner and an address on that date with the compliance inspection of 8/28. On 8/9, I made a contact with a property owner, Matt Cherry. He advised he had a contractor to fix the roof fascia soffit, but would like to demolish this and a next-door property in the next 2 to 3 months. The property was re-inspected multiple times during this case while it was open. And I made multiple contacts with a property owner via phone, text, and at one point, I actually met with him at the property to go over all the violations. On 12/6/23, the property was inspected and remained in violation. A first citation was issued and posted on a property, as well as sent by first class and certified mail to PVA listed owner. The compliance inspection date listed was, on the citation, was 12/18/2023. During that citation, the following violations were added: lack of duty to maintenance private property, dilapidated structure, vacant building not secured, dangerous structures or premises. This property has not had utilities on since 2020. Dwelling unfit for human habitation, and vacant structure or land not maintained in good repair. During this first citation, it was, when I was there to post it, I noticed the side door was unsecured and work order was completed for a contractor to respond to property and secured the side door. If you look through here, there's this construction material, and this window here, it's actually in good shape right now, except you probably can't see, but there's vines growing inside. There's open attic space. The door, this is the door that was unsecured that we boarded up. On 12/13, a property owner called, advised he's getting the list of everything to his contractor to get all violations in compliance before he lists property for sale. On January 11th of this year, I spoke with a contractor who advised he'll be working on the roof of all, there were, actually I had cases on 3 properties next to each other. He will work on the roof on all 3 properties as soon as the snow melts and temperatures go up. And on 4/1, I met with the property owner on site. We went over all the violations. He was advised he would be allowed another 30 days, and if no progress is made, a citation will be issued. May 3rd, the property was re-inspected. A citation, it remained in violation. A citation was issued and posted on property, as well as sent by first class and certified mail to PVA listed owner, with an inspection date listed of 5/13/2024. This is the citation. The roof, the siding on this citation is missing. The side door is still boarded up. On 5/14, a third property was re-inspected and remained in violation. A third citation was issued and mailed to PVA listed owner and address and posted at the property with compliance date of 5/24. During that time, the following violations were listed: dilapidated structure, duty of maintenance of private property, accumulation of construction material, dangerous structure, unfit for human habitation, exterior walls, vacant structure, and protective treatment. This is the third citation where it was posted. You can see all that construction material is still there. The side door is boarded up. The siding missing. During all this, I did speak with the property owner, who has since then, since the last citation on 8/20/24, applied for demolition permit. Now, that demolition permit has not been approved yet. He still had to turn in some paperwork in order to get it approved. But I'm here asking for authorization for per day fine in case that this falls through and the property does not get demolished.
Okay, I'll make a motion to implement a per-day fine in the amount of $100 to run for a period of 60 days or until in compliance.
Second. Harmon Dearbone, roll call.
Dearbone.
Yes.
Holman.
Yes.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Harmon.
Yes.
Lapointe.
Abstain.
Agenda item 2024-47 is for code compliance. This is a request for authorization to issue a per-day fine citation for case number 2023-4185 for the property located at 410 6th Avenue East, The owner is Motor Cars of Bowling Green LLC, and Officer Sonia Duderick will present the case.
This case is the next door to the previous case. Started the same day with kind of almost same issues. The first notice of violation was sent for inadequate roof and drainage with a reinspection date of 8/28/2023. Each time I followed on one of the properties, I followed on the other one. So each time we talked to the owner about the previous property, we would talk to get this one in compliance as well. The same time, he had the contractor that was gonna fix the other roof. Except this property, he has decided not to demolish. He wants to get this property in compliance and rent it out. So all those times that I talked to him, the same time, both citations were issued on both properties. On 12/6, a first citation was issued with a inspection date listed of 12/18/23 for accumulation of construction material, exterior use or storage, furniture, failure of duty maintenance of private property, dangerous structure, unfit for human habitation. Now, this property did not have utilities since June of 2023, and unmaintained glazing, broken window. If you can see, there's citation where I posted the contractor again when he fixed the roof on one property, fixed the other one. The property owner had listed both properties for sale at one point, which fell through, and he did not sell those. Again, I met with him on site. We went through all the violations. On 5/3, I re-inspected the property and remained in violation. A second citation was posted on the property, mailed to the PVA listed owner. You can see the mattress on the side. There's some construction material. There's a broken window on the back door. A third citation was issued on 5/14 when I inspected, and it remained in violation with a reinspection date listed of 5/24. I posted third citation. There's mattress, the siding there. As of today, the property owner has applied through BGMU to turn utilities on. The goal is to turn utilities on. He has potential renter that would come in, live there, and fix the property and get it in compliance. However, due to property being without utilities so long, he will have to get an electrician, which he has not secured one just as of today, to pull a permit and get it inspected before BGMU will turn utilities on. He is working on it, and again, this one is also, I'd like to present it and ask for per day fine in case that there's no movements in getting this property in violation, actually in compliance.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to implement a per-day fine in the amount of $100 to run for a period of 60 days or until in compliance.
Oh,
I'll second, if you can.
All right, Dearbone, Harmon, roll call.
Dearbone,
Yes.
Holman,
Yes?
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
LaPointe.
abstain.
Do we have any comments? Otherwise, our next meeting is Tuesday, September 24th. And if nothing else, I will entertain a motion. I will make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, roll call.
Dearbone,
Yes.
Holman,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Harmon.
Yes.
LaPointe.
Yes.
All right, we are adjourned. Yeah, there we go.